and welcome to Tea and Conversation Live. I am your host, Candy Lowe. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing all the people together for this live. Go ahead on and share it. Grab your favorite cup of coffee, tea. Of course, go ahead on and get that tea. I got mine right here. And we are going to have an amazing conversation. Woo! We are going to have an amazing conversation this afternoon, wherever you are listening. Some people are going to listen in the morning. Some people are going to listen in the evening. Some people are live with us right now here on Tea and Conversation. And we've had an amazing day with a number of people that have been on the podcast today. But right now we have on with us Jacqueline Coffie-Leeks. And she is running for State House District 63. Going forward, is it okay if I call you Jackie?
Yes, ma'am. You may call me. And do you want me to say ma'am or just Candy? I want to be respectful. Yeah, whatever you like. Yes. I tell people it's okay to call me Jackie. The only time I want to make sure that it's Jacqueline is if you're writing me a check. Please put Jacqueline on there, but Jackie is fine. I don't know if it's me or you, Candy.
Absolutely.
Am I coming through clear? Because we're getting it's breaking up, and I'm not sure. Am I breaking up to you, or is it coming through clear?
On your end, you sound good.
Okay, so every now and then you're breaking up, so I'm not sure, but we're gonna go with it.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Jackie, tell us a little bit about you first. Let's start off with that. For those that do not know you in the community, who you are, and also give us, why are you running for this seat?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thank you so much for having me on Live Tea and Conversation. I've been live in the building, but live online. I'm so honored and grateful for this opportunity that you give us this platform to share with those that may not know us and just to share. So I want to tell you thank you for that. My name is Jacqueline Coffie-Leeks. I was born and raised in Sulphur Springs. My dad is 4 generations from the community. My parents are both graduates of Middleton High School. And then I attended the schools of Hillsborough County, Sulphur Springs Elementary, Sly, it was a 7th grade center at that time, Van Buren, and then Hillsborough High, ultimately graduating from Hillsborough High. And then winning through, I don't know if you remember the Center of Excellence, Dr. Ike Tribble and Dr. Mary Lindsay we had a Center of Excellence, and I won a full 4-year scholarship through the Black History Brain Bowl. And I was able to attend the University of Florida. Got sick and came back home during that time and was called into ministry. So wind up getting my degree from Moody Bible Institute. And then my passion grew more for nonprofit work. So I got my certificate of nonprofit management from the University of Tampa. I'm the mother of 3 adult children who pay their own bills. So that's my testimony. And I have 7 beautiful grand gifts. That's what I call my grandchildren. I am the daughter of the late Ronald Coffey Sr., and my mother is the beautiful Marilyn Streeter. I'm the mother and the mother not only of my children, but I have godchildren and community children and auntie, a lot of nieces and nephews. So very big family. I have brothers and sisters. And so that's a little bit about who I am. I am a full-time minister at 34th Street Church of God. Bishop Thomas Scott is my pastor. And I run 2 nonprofits in our community. One in Sulphur Springs called the Sulphur Springs Neighborhood of Promise. And in East Tampa, I run our outreach ministry for our church, which has a pantry and a community garden and offers support to small businesses and nonprofits in the community. It was started by Dr. Maxine Woodside. I took the reins from her a couple of years ago. So why am I running? And I love that question because being part of the political process, part of the democracy process, really stemmed from growing up in the process with my dad. My dad was the president of the union, and he was very involved in the political landscape here in the community. Every mayoral race, starting with Dick Greco, all the way down, and then every legislative and Senate House legislative race for our state that came from Tampa, my dad worked on the campaign. So I learned the importance of being a part of the democratic process
Mhm.
early. I often joke with people before there was an app or a software to cut turf. I was cutting turf in the car with the big maps, and we were doing the street. So, but more than that, he wanted me to understand that if you're not a part of the process, if you're not a part of advocating for others, working for others, you're not doing what you're assigned to do. So why I'm running is I began to really
Mhm.
understand how the process worked in going to Tallahassee and DC with my dad. So I began to take other kids because he would take us. And over the last 8 years, as I took other children to committee week and to understanding how the appropriations work and teaching them how to read the budget, I began to look at our process and knew that
Mhm.
after the Honorable Diane turned out that I wanted to run because I knew that there were areas that I could also make a difference from the other side of the desk. So that is why I'm running, and I'm excited about just the opportunity to run.
Yes, yes, thank you. And I have to say as well, thank you so much for your support of me over the years as well. I definitely want to make sure, I appreciate you
Yeah,
as
I was
well.
so excited that you all
I
said
want to
the
say,
arbor because that started when you were doing the tour. I don't know if people realize that it started in when you were meeting in Sulphur Springs. So I was when they said that at the 20th celebration, I wanted to clap and stand up, but I was like, that's not appropriate right now. But thank you all for honoring where the start happened.
yeah, right there in Sulphur Springs, 915 East Grand Avenue. I'll never forget it.
That's right.
Yes. Let's get into our questions here. Any specific issues you believe need the most or the immediate attention in District 63?
Yes, ma'am. There, as you know, there are many, but the three that I've already began working on policy around. The number one is around pathways to success for our youth. Um, and this ties in also, Candy, to workforce development. Oftentimes that there's a gap in preparing the workforce or the work there are not enough people to fill roles. So I know that if we begin to prepare youth early,
Mhm.
middle school and high school, and build apprenticeship programs so that we begin to stack the bench and know that we have those that are coming up. When we were growing up, they had what they call journeymen, and journeymen would prepare the next generation and the next generation, and those trades and all of those technical jobs would go. So I think we need to do that not just in the technical space around technical jobs, but also around all different. So around nursing, we have it. I work with the United Way in Sulphur Springs. We have a CNA program because, and you worked at the hospital. You have to build nurses, not just train them. In COVID, we saw that there was really a lack of train. So I think building that pipeline along across the spectrum of careers would be really advantageous, and it also
Mhm.
allows our students a chance to really be exposed to their all levels of jobs. And I want to make sure that they understand you can do whatever you want, but they need to know what it takes to get there. So that's my first. The second is around I took care of two relatives to death. My aunt, Auntie Charlotte, and today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Auntie Charlotte. Um, Heavenly birthday. And my grandmother, my mom's mother, both had cancer. And being their full-time caregiver, I had an opportunity, two things that happened. Because we have a village, and I'm blessed, my family has a village. I had a lot of people that helped with their caregiving. But there were times in the doctor's office and places and filling out forms that there were so many senior citizens that didn't have a village, and there was no help for them. The system set up for success. It was hard for them to navigate. So some things around aging in place and strengthening our caregiver support. There are not a lot of things in Florida that really are tailored towards caregiver support so that we can help, so that many don't want to go to a nursing home or rehab center, but if they have no other choice. And then so just around that area, around our seniors, I really have a heart for caring for our elders. I feel like it's incumbent upon us. I owe it to them, and not just me, others, but I take it personally. And then the third is around how do we really work on
Mhm.
workforce housing? It breaks my heart that people, teachers and nurses and firemen and policemen, and you just name it, they work, but they don't have places to live. They're struggling. And so those are the three areas that we're already crafting policy and looking at how do we help. There's some things that are legislatively can make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you so much for that. If you're just joining Tea and Conversation Live, I have on with me Jacqueline Coffie-Leeks. She is one of our candidates that's running for State House District 63. Next question. If elected, what are the top two legislative priorities and how would they directly benefit the residents of District 63?
So I think the top two would still be in that area. The first would be around putting some resources to that pathway to success that I talked about for our youth. So policy around adding some additional resources so that apprenticeship programs could be fully supported and build out that structure. The second would be around some things around affordability. We're in a crisis now. So many people are struggling between, do I have enough to eat, gas, and things like that. So those are the first two areas that how do we, for District 63, for constituents that live here, get some relief in those areas.
Mm-hmm. And if elected, and this is really important to me, is if you are elected between the election cycles, how do you plan to stay accessible and accountable to the people you are representing?
That's a great question. And I love that question because it speaks to that if you're working in the community before you're elected, it shouldn't stop. So when you're home, that same work of being acceptable, having an office with that a system that is set up to make sure that it's responding to the constituents. There should be a standard operating procedure of this is how, if someone calls, what should happen? If someone comes in, what should happen? So developing a system that is welcoming, first of all, to all constituents, and then making sure that we have a system of how do you respond to the needs, and then building resource guides and sharing. I think it's important also after each cycle to make sure that our community understand what laws and how it affected them, and then in a palatable language, because sometimes the legislative language isn't friendly for all the constituents. So we have to make sure that it's in a language and in words that no matter where you are, whether it's a child or a senior citizen, that you can make sure that they understand how does this affect you, and then what do we need to do to work together. I'm a consensus builder, and it's really important that we learn that it's not just what the elected can do, but what do we do together? So coming back and say, this is what we worked on together through the session, and this was the outcome, and then what do we do? But always making sure that there's a system in place to respond to constituents.
Yeah, thank you so much for that answer. Florida continues to face challenges with property insurance. What solutions would you support or present?
So I'm going to answer that question with right now. The truth is the voters are going to decide whether this current iteration of that passes. So the property insurance and the property taxes, those things around that. So we have to look at the taxes and then the insurance. But I think part of the insurance, that's the property taxes. Around the insurance, I think it's important that we work with companies, work with the Department of Regulations around insurance. Who are we bringing in? Who are the partners? Who are the insurance companies that we're allowing to do business in Florida? And then some accountability and some looking at what has already happened that allowed certain companies to come in and have carte blanche over our insurance industry. So I think that's the first. And so the way to support that is around some accountability, and then looking at the partnership with the insurance companies and making sure we're bringing in those that have our community's best interests at heart.
Yes, and even with that same question, Florida also continue to have issues with affordable housing, and that's throughout the state. District 63 facing the challenges with housing. How would you support that as well?
So when we look at housing, I think automatically the thought is build new homes And I don't agree that that's the best
Mhm.
way. First of all, when you advocate for just all new homes, then it becomes gentrification because you price out the people that are living there. Because it's in the back. I think we need to look at what's existing in our housing stock and look at how do we rehab and save some of the housing. The other part of the housing crisis that I think is important, someone said to me, they've moved all of our people out. But what I said is that we have to learn how to help families save grandma's house because God isn't making any more land. So how do we start with programs and educating on how do you maintain your family's property? And then those areas that need, there may be homes that are in the area that were old duplexes, change those to houses or buildings that can be repurposed and retooled. So there are a lot of solutions, but it's just not always build a new home, because with that building a new home comes new costs, new appraisals, and then your property tax, everything goes up. So we have to look at how do we repurpose what we have in our communities already.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so
And
much
let me
for
add
that
one thing
answer.
to it,
And if you're
Candy.
just joining us,
I want to add
yes,
one thing to
ma'am.
that. We also have allocated
Yes.
legislatively the Sadowski Fund and other funds that are allocated towards that. So also some account. I want to make sure we touch on that. There needs to be some accountability around that and make sure that those funds that were in the legislation, what they were uh, set aside for, that they're using it for that and not for other things. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much. If you're just joining us, in Conversation Live, I have on with me guest Jacqueline Coffie-Leeks. She's a candidate running for State House District 63. This is a question, Jacqueline, that I have heard for the last several years, and there is some truth to it. And here goes. I have often heard, and we have as well, have often heard that the Republicans has the supermajority in the state house. What are your plans to navigate through that and get something done in District 63?
That's a great question. So I'm a true believer that we have to learn to work across the aisles. We cannot get anything done if we feel like if we have monolithic thinking. It cannot just be one frame of thought. I think also in building consensus, in building collective impact, find those areas that we have that are common ground that we can work on. And because there are Republicans, Democrats, independents, non-party affiliation, all of that live in District 63. So it's for the good of the community. So if you can find those areas that we all agree on, there's some things that I don't care what your party is, there's some common things that we can find that hold on 1 minute, I'm going to plug in. I apologize. Didn't realize my computer wasn't
No
plugged in. Okay.
problem.
So finding that common ground and building that consensus. And hold on 1 second, Candy. Sorry about that. I thought I was plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it gave us a
No
warning.
problem.
Okay. Okay, there we are. So working across the aisles is necessary. Finding those common threads that we share about the community, and then finding a way to develop collective impact to work together.
Okay. To work together across the aisle. Um, what do you believe set you apart from your opponents?
So first of all, I want to say that both of my opponents are amazing. They all are amazing. Both are amazing people. And we all bring, first of all, a heart for the community. So I want to say what we have in common first. We all bring a heart for wanting something better for our community and being workers and servants for our community. So I want to say that. But what set us apart is our experience working on different levels. So my experience has allowed me, and I don't take it for granted, that I'm blessed that I've been able to work citywide, countywide, statewide, and now nationally on efforts that really look at families and communities from cradle to career and around community transformation. Also, I have been able to work with over the last 8 years through a statewide model with 5 communities to be a part of the bringing over $30 million to those communities. So that's around being a part of a statewide collective impact model. So I have experience with those 5 cities and their legislators because I've been working with them over the last about 7 years, and we've just added 2 more sites. So that gives us, again, increases our reach across the state. And then also just living in the community, being in the community all of my life, and the working with the school district, working with the city, working with the county, having family and friends that I have listened to, because I don't claim to ever know it all, but I know how to listen to others and be able to help find solutions based on the things that they want for our community, because there's no Superman or Superwoman effect. I have to be able to listen and ask for not just what is the problem, what let's come to a solution together. So my experience around family and community transformation has been over 4 decades of working with community members. So that sets me apart from the other candidates.
That leads me right into, do you believe that you will be absolutely ready on day one?
Absolutely. I think I would be ready on day one, but also willing on day one to learn. Again, I don't go in with the, oh, I already know. But because I have been at committee week, I have been a part of appropriations, I have been a part of sitting in those budget meetings, I am at a position because of, and I also, Candy, another thing that sets me apart, I've had the opportunity to work with several state departments closely: the Department of Education, the Department of Juvenile Justice, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Health, I've been blessed to, over the last 7 years, to work closely with contracts. So I already have relationships in all of those departments. So that gives me an advantage. But I have not worked as a legislator, but I have relationships that will help me to be able to seamlessly transition into the process.
Joining us, I have on with me Jacqueline Coffie-Leeks. She's a candidate running for State House District 63. I want to say thank you for all. We had a lot of people on this evening listening and joining in the conversation. There's a number of comments as well in the chat, and I wanted to see if I could take at least well, let me go to this right here because I think that's on your side. Is that if there's any endorsements that you would like to mention before we close?
Oh, thank you. So I am proud to say that I have been endorsed by the Florida Sentinel, our newspaper. Very proud of that. The Florida Education Association, the Florida AFL-CIO, and the Western Central AFL-CIO, the chamber, and I've also been endorsed. And these are candidates. These are dear to my heart because, as I told you, my dad worked on their campaigns. So I've been endorsed by the Honorable James Jim Hargret, the Honorable Arthenia Joyner, the Honorable Les and Gwen Miller, the Honorable Sean Shaw, the Honorable Bishop Thomas Scott, the Honorable Henry Shake Washington, the Honorable Doretha Edgecombe, and it just goes on. And I'm like, Lord, I am just grateful that they believe in me and that they have said, we believe that you are able to do the job. And knowing that people like James Tokley, Mr. Richard Pride, and there's a list that goes on, Miss Margaret Woody, Miss Barbara Wright, there are so many elders in this community that have worked with me since I was a child to make sure that I was equipped, that I knew how to operate in whether it was politics and church and systems and community. So I don't take for granted that that's what they have provided. So, and now them standing with me is big. But my endorsement list is long, but so many of those are near and dear to my heart, and I am grateful. And I don't know if I lost Candy, but it still says that I'm live. So I don't, if you have questions, I guess drop them in the stream. Did I lose Candy? Okay, I'm going to try to look on to see. She's on there? Okay, so I lost the host. Are we both gone? I'm asking my technical assistants now, but I'm on. Okay. So if you have questions for me, I think Candy's on. It's her live stream, so I don't have a way to end it. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat and I would be happy to answer them. I thought that she was having some questions. There she is. She's coming back. I knew that she was having some technical difficulties because of her sound was. I said, "How do I lose you off your own show, Candy? What happened?"
I think it's this internet. I'm definitely gonna have to get this here fixed.
Yes.
Um,
Well, I want you. There were some problems around Spectrum and T-Mobile yesterday globally, so it may not just it may be because of that. There were some towers that were down and some things that happened.
yeah, I did see that on a number of people that was posting yesterday on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Someone said Laura said that I concur. I believe she's already ready. She's ready to go. So that's
Oh,
one comment I did
yeah.
see. It wasn't showing. So if there's anything else that you would like to add this evening to encourage people, first, if you can give out the date of our upcoming elections.
Yes. So the elections are begin. Mail-out ballots have already been mailed. August 3rd through the 16th is early voting. August 18th is election day. Bigger than that, Candy, we don't have a November election. There's no general. This is our general election, and it's a universal primary, which means if you live in District 63, no matter what your party is, you can vote during this time. So I'm asking you to vote Jacqueline Coffie-Leeks, and not only you, check your registration and then check at least 10 other people in the family's registration that live and get them to vote. And whether they live in a district or not, we have to be a part of the process. We have to participate. But this is the election. August is our election. So it's important that everyone votes. August 3rd through the 16th, you can go to any of the early polling places to vote. There are 27 early precincts that are open for early voting. You can look on the supervisor of election office for that list. But on August 18th, you have to go to the precinct that is on your registration card. So I would advise you to vote early so you can go whatever works for you and you don't have to worry about if there's bad weather or something happens on the 18th. Vote early. 27 places are open
Right.
for us to vote early in our county. The 18th, you cannot go to whatever one's closest to you or what's convenient. On the 18th, you have to go to the precinct that is assigned to you on your registration card and check your card because remember, some people's polling place changed. So check those things, check now. You can reach out to us at 813-927-6407 or at my website, vote coffee, no, Coffie-Leeks for FOR 63.com. Coffee, my name,
If you
COFFIE,
can,
uh-huh, for the word for 63.com. So check us out. If you have questions, send them. If you want to call us, if you want more information, we're grateful for this opportunity and we're glad that you joined us tonight. Just very humble, Candy, to share in this time with you and grateful.
thank you so much. If you can give that phone number out once more for everyone.
Yes, my phone number is 813-927-6407.
Got it. And this is one of the questions that I allow you to make an announcement. If you have any more events going on between now and election that you would like people to come out to.
So we'll be taking part on Thursday at Middleton High School, NAACP, NAACP. Sorry, Madam President. NAACP is having their community forum, 5:30 at Middleton High School this Thursday. You can join us there. Other than that, we will be hitting the streets, canvassing, we will be phone banking. So if you want to be a part of our team, if you say, I want to help at a early polling site, Jack, I can do 2 hours. Whatever it is, we will gladly allow you to come and be grateful for you to come and join us, help us as we march towards victory. But anyone's invited to come and join us. You can join, you can sign up on our site, and then we're using Mobilize to communicate. So you'll get, and if you say, you know what, it's too hot, but I'll do phone banking for you, we can utilize that too. And also, if you would like to make a donation, because it does cost to run a campaign, you can do so also at the website, Coffie-Leeks463.com.
There you go. You heard it first right here on Tea and Conversation. And again, thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us, and good luck with the campaign. And I hope to see you real soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for Tea and Conversation live. Oh, you are so welcome. One conversation, one community, making it happen together. And I will see everyone next time. Thank you.
Goodbye.